Well, hello everybody, welcome to Robert's Train Set. And this is basically just to bring you a bit more up to date with the Flirt that I recently did a video on. And unlike most people, I would think, I went the ESU route for the decoders rather than the Hornby HM7000. So how did I get on with that? Also, if you saw that last video, and if you haven't, might be worth watching it, I had a few issues, didn't I? The train with the overhang was hitting parts of my layout. What have I done to alleviate that, if anything? So keep watching and we'll see what happens. So let's first of all, I'll give you a few of the functions that I had on this ESU, and they haven't all worked, which I thought may be the case. So let's have a go, and I'll just do a couple, not all of them. They take too long, don't they? So as you can hear, the electric is operating, not the diesel. So we can have the horns. Number 1, number 2. And we've got the driver's door slam and a compressor. You've heard the diesel engine start in the last video, so I won't do that. But normal flange squeal. We have the dispatch whistle, which I'll do in a minute, and also the guard to drivers right away. This one I don't think works, but let's have a look. Oh yes, it does. Any ideas, anybody, what that is? Well, you'll be pleased to know that that's the retention toilet flush. So that's getting rid of all the... yes, we won't mention any more of that, will we? Auto coupling and uncoupling. And you did hear the passenger announcements, so we'll do that one anyway.
Please familiarise yourself with the safety notices displayed throughout the train.
And another one.
If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to staff or text the British Transport Police on 61016. We'll sort it. See it, say it, sort it.
Cab alarm works. That would wake you up, wouldn't it? So let's get this train on the go, and first of all, I suppose it would be nice to let the passengers in, wouldn't it? So we'll let some passengers on. Again, these are very nice to have, but you know, the doors aren't open, are they? Jim at Hover Motion had a DMU where the doors were actually a screen and they would open, which was really clever. So perhaps we'll get that eventually. More money, of course. So we better shut them now before we go. And we'll get the guard to blow his whistle. And there's the guard telling the driver we can go. So let's go. Perhaps a slight horn. There we go, very slowly out of the station. So I'm going to follow this down, and if you remember, one of the problems I had was that the train hit this point. So we were going really slowly, and as you can see, it went over without hitting. And the same at the back. And all I've done with this is I've filed off a bit of the plastic. It's easy enough to do. We've changed tracks now from the inside to the middle, and of course this was a problem one because it would hit the station at the end of the curved station. So let's set this train going, and I will say that it changed tracks with no problem on the points, and yeah, I'm very pleased with how it runs on my layout so far, although I've not run it everywhere, which I think I will have to do. So let's give the go ahead and we'll get this train moving again. Now this is all manually done, not auto yet, and that is one of the reasons I've got this station to work okay. I'll explain. Although the signal does work automatically. It is still a bit close in places, but now that I've got the brick wall back a bit more, I can still sand some bits off. But I'm quite happy now that it's all working, although it's a big gap, isn't it? So, as some of you may know, I run my trains, if I want to, on iTrains. And this entails changing CV values to make them operate in iTrains. So, what I'm going to do now is, you can see the little frog-eyed man here. He is my stop point when I test the trains. And what I'm going to do is get the Flirt to go at full speed, which I would think is about 120 miles an hour. Well, it seems to be on this system, but of course it's not been speed matched. And I'll show you just how long it takes to slow down when I take the power completely off at this point, and count how many circuits of the layout it takes to slow down. And I will come back to you after it's done that and explain why we have to do what we have to do. So the next time you see this train, it will be going flat out. So here she comes, and this is at 120 according to my computer. So when she comes round after this pass, I will stop at that point. So now all the power is off, and just count how long it takes to slow down. So there's one. There's two. There's three. So what would you say that is? That's probably a 3 and 3.5, 3 5/8. So let's relocate and I'll explain. So what I'd ideally like is, once I've done the testing, for the train to stop at about this point. And as you can imagine, if it is going at full whack, which to be honest it will never do on this layout, it's just not big enough, it would take far too long to stop when the computer tells it to. So we do need to get it almost stopping on a sixpence, and also accelerating away. At the moment it takes quite a long time to build up speed. So I will go away now and do the tests, and it is done on this track, and it works from the other station, the big station, round past the curve station that it was hitting on, and hopefully finishes here and then goes back and goes the other way and is checked. So you can see why it was important to get that station being missed, because at the very slow speeds it would have probably stopped it. So yeah. So how did I do the station? I literally took it off the layout, which meant disconnecting the Ceramore signal and then equally putting it back together again, which I found really hard working under the layout again. I'm just not up to it very much now, but we did do it, and I moved the whole of the brick wall back and obviously cut about 2 mil off the edge of the platform. So that's what I did. So I'll come back either at the end of this I'll come back at the end of this video and show you this running under control, and maybe with some other complete trains that I've got, or in another video. See how we go. All right, everybody. So got a few hours ahead of me sorting this out. So I've only changed two, number 3 and number 4, as you can see, which worked quite well. I have to do both ends. So let's do that exercise again. So full speed, and we'll see how quickly it stops. There we are. A little bit of difference there, isn't there? So now it's a case of doing the speed matching, and this is done using iTrains, and it will just run the trains backwards and forwards. I use 1 to 8 steps, but only do every 5, as you can see there. So the track's divided up into 3 sections, and the middle section is the timing part. So as you can see, it runs that way, it then stops, and it goes back again, and the minute it hits the bit of track that is measured, the computer reads it, which I'll show you in a minute. So that was at one of the faster runs, but we've got to number 1 now, so you can see the clock there, which means it's not actually started. And yes, it is moving, but it will take an awful long time, probably 15 minutes to travel that bit of track. And you can see it's coming up towards the joint in the track, and that's where the timing finishes. So I just need to wait. And then we had it all done, near enough, and I was just waiting for it to finish. Clicked the save, and it filled in all the other bits. So we go from there, and we now have to get it to stop where we want it to. And you can see all these bits that are in the actual engine. This is the engine, locomotive part of the iTrains. And we need to get to this bit. Then on the train part of iTrains, I need to put the route in that will measure and allow me to get it to stop where I need it to. So here it is, ready to start the first run, and you can see the little black figure there. That's where we want it to stop when it comes back. So it runs round between those two little objects I've placed that you've seen earlier. And we would like it to stop just as it gets to it. But in this particular case, although you can't see it, it runs past. And this was the first run. I will give you another view, and that's what it did on the way back. You can see it's about 2 or 3 inches out. And there again, 2 or 3 inches. So I changed the bit at the bottom, which is the reaction delay. And this was after a few goes, and I set it at 500. And you can see I'm pretty pleased with that, and that one. So let's go and have a bit of running, shall we? Well, this running is the simplest you can do really. You just give the train a route on the one track and it just carries on round. But the thing it does that you probably don't do if you do it manually is you can have the train stopping at the stations. Which yes, you can do manually, but you have to do it all the time, whereas this does it without any problem. Obviously you can then have trains running, changing tracks and going to other parts of the layout, which I do, and I enjoy it, I must admit. I do enjoy watching it. You can also have functions coming on at certain points, so like the whistle when it leaves the station and that sort of thing. Yeah? So a lot of versatility in it, absolutely. Well, we're coming to the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Next, hopefully, should be at my B1 Mayflower coming from TMC.